Hey kids, this is Ivan. How you doing? Behind me is this Norfolk Island pine, and it is one that my kids gave me when it was 2002, and they gave it to me for Christmas. It was about this tall, and it's really big now. It's taller than I am. If I stand up, this thing is at least 6 feet tall, 6'2" or something, and I'm 5'10". But this video isn't about that pine. Maybe it is. Maybe it's about growth. But anyhow, you know, we've been having this discussion with a bunch of us talking about teaching role-playing games. And the last video I actually put up on YouTube was about like whose responsibility, or the responsibility of the book to teach you the game that you're holding in your hands. But I want to look at this from a different perspective, and that's the responsibility of us, you know, as gamers, to teach other people how to play the game that we're interested in playing. You know, our responsibility to the community as a whole. And then how to teach people how to role play, which is something that, you know, when I first was discussing this with the people in the community, you know, in this group, I was like, you know, I'm not really sure if I'm qualified to teach other people how to role play, but, you know, Jason brought up a good point, and so, you know, I suppose I am. So, anyhow, at least a little bit. Let me just dive right in. You know, I think, you know, it is definitely our responsibility. Like, if you or I decide that, you know, I want to play a specific game, you know, if Anthony says, I want to get some people together to play Blue Planet, he better be, if there's not a bunch of people jumping up and down saying, yes, I want to play Blue Planet, which there are not, he better be willing to help teach us how to play the game. You know, if I want to get some people to play Lamentations of the Flame Princess or Hollow Earth Expedition here in the local area, or Broken Rooms, baby, I better be willing to take some time to explain to them how to play the game, you know, in play as well. I mean, they'll buy the book or whatever, or hopefully they'll buy the book if they become interested, or the PDF, but I can guide them through the, you know, the parts where they might be a little confused. It's your responsibility as the person that's really promoting the game. I'm looking at the evangelist for that particular game. You know, I believe it's your responsibility at that point to, you know, help the people that you want to actually learn that game. And I think there's probably a bit of a responsibility, you know, for us as gamers towards the community at large to help other people learn how to role play, how to play the games that we like. If we want people to play them with us, if we want to spread the hobby. And I don't mean the super altruistic way, like, you know, I have to go out and proselytize and evangelize. You know, that's ridiculous. But, you know, I think if I want the hobby to be vibrant, then I have a bit of a responsibility to contribute to it. And that, you know, may mean helping to educate other people how to play the game. However, you know, there's a lot of information to be gained in the book. A lot of it boils down to, like, you know, you can read the book all you want, depending on people's learning style. You have to actually sit there and do it. And then when you encounter an impasse, you can say, oh, well, it's this die here, or this is how we do this mechanic, or, you know, whatever. And I've had people do that for me, especially, you know, when I first started encountering the moments when I was expected to narrate my successes as a player. That felt very uncomfortable for me, so I had people kind of be patient with me as I kind of got my feet under me and started to narrate my successes more. And it was just something I wasn't used to. I knew how to narrate a success, it just wasn't in part of my culture of play. So I had people that were supportive of me doing that and encouraged me to do it, like in between sessions, like, go ahead. But I think that kind of ushers in, you know, the way that I think we can best teach other people how to role play in general is simply by modeling role playing. You know, I learned to role play by emulating the behavior of other players. You know, I developed my game mastering style by, well, by trial and error and doing a lot myself. But also, you know, I would go and play in somebody else's game, see something they did, and say, hey, I like that. I'm going to try that out. But role playing, you know, it wasn't something that I gravitated towards as a kid. I'm talking about role playing my character. You know, I started young, so in the beginning, and I was not an actor. That was not my gig. I was in a couple of theater productions in school, and it was not my thing. But I'm definitely a ham. I definitely like to improv. I definitely like to fool around. You know, my girlfriend tells me when she comes home and I'm still playing All for One or another game on Hangouts, she says, well, that's what you're doing is acting, in case you're not sure. You know, she laughs. She laughed at me today about that as I was talking about this subject. But I wasn't somebody for whom acting was really, that wasn't really a comfortable thing for me. However, you know, I played with other people. I watched them role play their characters. I watched how they did it. I watched them get into character, you know, more than I was. And I saw what they were doing, and I imitated, and saw, like, you know, what fit. You know, I tried various techniques on, saw what fit me, and I saw what didn't fit, and I kind of started to develop this role-playing style as a result. And at first, of course, it feels uncomfortable. But when everybody else in the room is role-playing their characters, it feels a lot less uncomfortable to start to say what your character says. instead of saying, well, Heinrich says this or Jurgen says that. You just, you just say it. You start to act like them. You start to, put on a little bit of a mannerism. They're not like, huge, unless you want to. And I was looking back today. I have to take some notes for the next session of that game, so I know what happened. And I was watching how they were, giving their characters some inflections. I love watching those three, Josh and Lee and Jason role play. That was a lot of fun. So I learned from everybody that I play with, and I think that's kind of how we end up teaching each other how to role play, at least in my experience. You can sit there and tell them, well, this is what you do, and you try to get into character, and look at things from the perspective of your character, and blah, blah, blah. But there ain't nothing like actually sitting down and watching somebody else do it, with you, to really, at least that's how I learned. And so I believe at the end of the day, that's probably how I teach role-playing the best. There's an old adage that says it's easy for you to teach what it was hard for you to learn. In a lot of cases, for procedural things, that is very true. Sometimes I'm not the best guy to teach you some game mechanics or whatever because they came very naturally to me. As far as role-playing, that adage, I'm not sure if that's all that true because I'm not quite sure how I did that either. I think I'm just naturally a ham, and I lost some of my inhibitions. And so I got better at role-playing my characters and felt a lot more comfortable with it. And that comes with some time in a group of people. And now I've got to the point where I'm pretty comfortable doing that no matter who I'm around. And so I'm not sure what that says about me. But yeah, that's I think it's our responsibility to model the behaviors we want to see in the people we play with, and those that we want to encourage. So yeah, I guess it's our responsibility to teach other people how to role play. And in my case, it's simply by doing it. What do you think?